the Mastercraft Flux Core Welder. The Mastercraft Flux Core Welder. My thoughts. So I've owned this welder for around 2 years, and I've liked it pretty well. The first thing you want to do, get some better wire. The original stuff is good to practice on, but not really good for anything else. I'm running the Hobart wire right now. I like it a little bit better than the Lincoln, but that could just be because it's a little cheaper. But they're about the same. This welder's pretty good at doing medium steel, like about 10 gauge. And I wouldn't do anything more than 1/4 inch. It says 3/16, but you can probably get away with 1/4 inch. And then you wouldn't want to go any thinner than like 20 gauge. I've tried and it's kind of difficult. But yeah, I usually run them a little bit more wire speed than they say, just to get a little bit more weld down. I've never had it overheat, so I've always been within the duty cycle. Not that that really, you're probably never gonna do that. Yeah, but we're welding 10 gauge, so it says 2 and 4. I like around 2 and 5. That's pretty good for me. This welder is pretty much ideal for any small projects. I wouldn't, if you're welding all day, maybe you'd want a nicer machine, but for in the driveway, it's better than MIG because it's cheaper and it's lighter. Yeah. The positives are that it's inexpensive, it doesn't cost very much, and it's pretty cheap, and it's cost effective, and it's pretty universal and easy to use. The welds are pretty decent on it if you get good at it. My advice is just to go pretty slow and let it burn in. We're gonna do a couple here, and I'll show you how they go, and then I'll give you some more thoughts and what I think about this in the conclusion. So I'm going to try here just a butt joint with probably about a 1/16 inch groove in it, and then just a standard kind of T-joint kind of angle. So we'll try them. It's always a good idea to get a better start and have clean material if you want a decent weld. If you just want the metal to hold, it'll probably be fine. Alright, after wire brushing it, see, not too bad. We'll flip it over, see what it looks like on the other side. We almost burned all the way through it. I'll turn it up a bit higher and do the rest, see what we get. Alright, that turned out pretty good. Over here was better. I switched to a different extension cord, and that seemed to make it be better. So I guess try to plug it right into a wall if you can. When I'm welding, I'm like this. And for this, you want to be about 45, and you can do a little weave, just like that. You don't need to worry about your welding table catching on fire. Not too bad to start. I turned my helmet down, it was a bit too dark. So we'll try it again. Something like that. So you can see here that we're getting good heat into it. A little bit more on the bottom than the top, but that's usual. You want to try to aim it up higher because gravity will pull it down. But yeah, good. Not too bad. So in theory, this welder, you know, it doesn't do anything in particularly extraordinary, but it joins two pieces of metal, and if that's what you need to do, it'll do it. So we'll finish off this and then we'll recap. Mint. Alright, now that the smoke is cleared, for the most part, this welder, it's mint, it does welds. I doubt you're going to be able to break that. Well, maybe if you're trying to build a bridge, but well, maybe a small bridge you'd be fine, but anyway. That's not too bad. But for the price, I think it's pretty good. Ease of use, it's easy. If I could get it to stop tripping the breakers, I think I need to move up to a bigger size breaker. We're on a lower circuit. Anyways, yeah, I've tried, so this one I think is one of the lower end models. I've also tried the one that has the double thing, which has the gas hookup. But honestly, this one, it welds the exact same as that in flux core mode. But if you want to do MIG, I mean, you can. I don't think I would, just at this level. I'd want to wait till I step up a couple more levels. For a cheap welder, flux core, you know, it'll get you by. That's pretty much, you know, what type of welding you want to do. This thing, it only weighs like maybe 20 pounds. So definitely really mint. I made a little cart out of like an old person's walking device. It even has brakes on it, so if we're on a hill, we can, you know, put her in P and we're all good to go. Anyways, yeah, this welder, it's pretty good for driveway stuff. You know, if you want to build a project or even just welding stuff back together. Like before this, when I only had a stick welder, you know, that's kind of difficult to get out and use, and you know, but this, you know, you just plug it in and go. So you don't know how many things you can fix when you have a handy welder around. Just so many, like your little wagon or a bucket or something. I don't know, anything when you make a project or 5. But yeah, anything. It's definitely paid for itself in repairing things just around the house and for my neighbors and everything like that. So I'd buy it when it's on sale. That's when I bought it. And then for that price, I think it's worth it. That's my opinion on the Mastercraft Flux Core Welder. Kind of a 2-year review. I mean, nothing's broken, it's all mint. My one complaint would be the cords are a little bit short. I definitely like this trigger. It's really easy to use, it's really light. For some reason, my friend, he has the MIG one like this. Actually, I have 2 friends that have the MIG one, and I have just the Flux Core one. But their triggers, they're so much harder to pull, so I was welding on a frame of a vehicle, and the trigger, like, my hand was getting sore. This one's easy to use. You can do it with your pinky, just giving her. So it's pretty easy to use. I like it. The ground clamp's a little cheap. But I don't know if I'm able to take these out and put a longer ground on it, because I definitely would, and maybe even a longer power cord, but I'm not sure how much I want to dig into this. But yeah, for making a go-kart or anything around the house, I'd recommend it. Buy it when it's on sale. Buy the more expensive wire, flux core wire. It's the .030, and try not to run it on extension cords if you can, because then it reduces the amperage that you're getting to it, and then it makes a way better weld when you do. So that's my tip. Get a decent helmet. Auto darkening is mint, just for using. The other ones you can get by with, but for starting out, I'd get an auto darkening. Get a decent wire brush. I have a new one. I'm just going to finish this one off. And then welding table. You don't need a welding table. Plywood's fine. You don't need to worry about it. See, that's just mint. So, anyways, that's the end of this review. I give it 10 out of 10. I guess. So we'll go 85 out of 10. It's a good welder. I'd probably get it again. I don't know. So that's the end of this video. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. Maybe next time we'll jump something, or well, we did burn something, so that was kind of interesting. Maybe next time there'll be gas involved or burnouts or something like that. Anyway, stick around. We'll see you in the next one.